All right, ladies, gents, here we go. I just want to let you know off the rip, this is going to be a super impromptu message from a real life experience that just happened 10 minutes ago. Rage, anger, and validation are going to play a critical role today as this Jupiter-Venus conjunction goes down, or Venus-Jupiter conjunction, call it in the order you want. The next part of this message is not for the faint of heart. It's not pretty, I won't lie to you. I just witnessed a disgusting fight. Disgusting. And it's one of these themes where when we don't properly direct the massive power and force of Aries, something strong enough to become an individual, separate itself from God. When we do not direct that energy, people can easily get hurt. And I just witnessed this while playing basketball in a family park. And the irony is, like, I'm sitting there in the middle, pushing the two people apart in the process of creating peace. And the irony of the whole nine is that at one point in my life, like, I was the guy throwing those punches. I was the guy in the middle of that fight. And, you know, a lot of those lessons karmically brought me here to be the one to essentially promote peace and give people real life stories of why this is not the way we want to go. I promise you, this guy might literally have a concussion. The way this went down, like, he can die in his sleep. And I know that as a medical professional myself. This guy might literally potentially die in his sleep and at a family park. He had nothing to do with the entire fight. So what I'm saying is we truly need to take a look at the fact that just because Jupiter and Venus are these happy planets and good things can happen, it is also a very excessive and addiction-based energy where we can truly be addicted to anger itself. In fact, there was a point in my life years ago when I recognized I myself was addicted to anger, and I didn't even think that was possible. Now, when that addiction to anything that we can't stop, that's the definition of an addiction, anything that we cannot stop. This is Venus-related themes. And this is in the sign of Aries, who is very immature. If you did not grow with Aries energy, if you weren't born in Aries, if you're not progressing to Aries, you don't have planets into Aries, it could be a very surprising amount of force, a lot of energy. You know, Aries has in human design gates directly in these sacral chakra. And this is a motor. This is not an awareness center, is what I'm saying. Which means that until Aries is governed by Mars, we must understand it. And Mars is an unconscious planet. An unconscious planet, meaning our actions, our assertion, how we use our rage, how we use our desires, how we spread our seed. This is Aries, the seed of semen. It can bring life into the world. It is that powerful to create a human, but it also means it is that powerful to destroy a human, which is what I just said. I just witnessed today. Rage, misplaced, anger, misplaced, the violent side of Aries, the ruthless energy of Aries. And now you put this in Jupiter, conjunct on Venus, and Jupiter is this thing that will expand anything, good or bad. It is completely neutral in this sense. So when we don't check in with the burning desire within us, the burning rage within us, violent tendencies, looking for validation, looking to be cool, or to defend our sense of self, which is what Aries is often doing. Now I'm going through and I'm embarrassed. Now I'm getting my ass whooped at the basketball court. And I'm telling you, I just witnessed this live. And I broke up the fight twice. And somehow these two could not let go of their anger. And this is the very definition. The very definition. If you can't stop something after 5 minutes, you're addicted. And we need to understand that Venus is exalted in Pisces for that exact reason. Addiction to drugs. The hormone and the enzymes and the molecules that combine a chemical combustion to create an emotion like anger, to create and push actions forward like ruthlessness, these exist, and we can be addicted to this. And so what I really want to say is, understand that this conjunction happened at 12 degrees, and this is a degree of karma, the ability and the potentiality to surrender our karma, to actually let go of a karmic rage, a karmic sense of violence that maybe you were a gladiator lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes ago. And if you have not resolved that gladiator energy, that gladiator vengeance, you can be born in a world today, 2023, where we can't run around with swords and chop heads off. We can't be that gladiator energy. We can't just express that gladiator energy mindlessly. That is the type of energy that can unite humanity when used properly. It can also be the type of energy to destroy humanity, like I just witnessed today. And it was, honest to God, awful, like to see a man get kicked in his face so hard. It brought me back to so many times where I've witnessed multiple people, and it's even sad to have to say something like that out loud, to witness so many people get kicked in their face, wrongfully so, to get jumped. Two grown men hitting some immature boy who didn't know what he was getting himself into. This is terrible. And we need to truly understand that if we don't start addressing these matters of the anger and the rage within us, and we just think that we can just keep having this tough external shell while all that soft internal, gentle, compassionate heart and soul within us, highly sensitive souls, we are all highly sensitive spirits. If we don't start embracing that and start truly thinking about what it means to come together, what it means to love, what it means to be compassionate to another who might be dealing with rage and anger, and to not add fuel to the fire. Because the simple reality is, now everybody wants to keep playing basketball after this guy got his ass whooped. And they're like, yo, P, you going home? Yeah, I'm going home. I'm not going to support and condone violence to this degree at a family park while we're playing basketball. We have kids watching. We got women and children in the audience. We got grown men watching other grown men beat each other senseless. And when I say each other, I mean one man getting his ass whooped by two others. Of course I'm going home, because the simple reality is we don't start looking at each other as one. If we don't start looking at each other as one, when the North Node goes into Aries, that solar eclipse kicks off in Aries in April. AKA when we don't know what to do with the power that Aries has, AKA the energy, a single energy, one individual strong enough to rip themselves away from the power and the domain of God. That's the power of Aries. Understand it. It is raw. It is passionate. And when you now add this conjunction of Venus, who does not do very well in Aries, who can take what they want when they want. And you add Jupiter, the Zeus type God level energy, who is bold enough, courageous enough to go against his own father and free multiple gods. Like I said, free multiple gods. You now add this Venetian energy and this Jupiter energy together in this conjunction, and you know what? It could be the type of power that can get you to surrender lifetimes of karma while we're in Pisces season. It's also the type of energy, and I had a moment in I got the guy to calm down, and I said, listen, I saw what he did and it was unfair, it was unjust. I'm communicating this to this guy. And he had a moment to actually hear me, he had a moment to actually listen. And I said, listen, that's his karma. And then he snapped out of it and he was like, yeah, you're right, it's his karma. And as this one gentleman just completely gives up and realizes, okay, I took my ass whooping, but you know what, I'm alive. The next gentleman could not let go of his anger, and he provoked another fight. He provoked the excess of violence, the excess of rage, the excess of anger. When he knew very clearly that he had at least 200, I don't know, I can't say 200, but he had at least 100 pounds and a half on this guy, 150 pounds on this guy. This guy was a kid. But he needed some sense of false validation that he was big, that he was tough. Now he ends up giving this guy a type of concussion where, to be honest, I'm truly afraid if that guy will wake up, because I've seen these before in real life, and people don't always wake up. People don't always wake up. And second from that, God forbid, let's say he does wake up now. He has a cousin. He has an uncle. He has a brother. He has a friend. And somebody's angry. And that exact same family park now becomes a public shootout. 1 week from now, you see a mass murder on the news, and everybody wants to wonder what's wrong with this kid after being humiliated and violated in so many shameful ways. We must take a sincere look at ourselves. And we must start seeing somebody that we're willing to violate to such an extent as ourselves. As ourselves. Because I can promise you that if you're a mother watching this, you don't want your son being involved in that. I can promise you if you're a father watching this, you don't want your son being involved in that. And so we have to stand together and recognize and have a voice together. And as a fucking team, okay, at least 15, 16 grown men right there on the basketball court. 15, 16 of us, if we all sit there and come together and break up the fight, guess who wins? We win. We win as a humanity. We win as a people. We win as a society. We win together. Together. Because these three gentlemen involved in an altercation cannot stand against the next 13 of us sitting there watching. Secretly edging them on. Projecting more violence, unresolved within ourselves. So we'll watch, we'll provoke, we'll bet on it. We need to really take a sincere look, because I promise you, the thing is, sometimes people like to separate reality from spirituality and yada, yada, yada. And this is the simple reality. And we don't start engaging with ourselves in a more loving and compassionate way, which allows us to engage with others in a more loving and compassionate and diplomatic way. More than civil war. Everyone thinks that war is so far from their front door. Everyone thinks, especially Americans and especially Europeans, but especially Americans, they think that war is so far away and that it's not possible. No one's ever going to, from the inside out, we will destroy ourselves. From the inside out, we are in the process of destroying ourselves. Because by sitting there being a bystander, you as the bystander are just as guilty. Call the police. Call the police. You don't want to get involved physically. I can fully understand that. It's not a pretty place to be. To be honest, I don't even want to sit to be in the middle, but yet and still, I put my body right in the middle. We cannot continue to stand for such nonsense. And honestly, anybody that provokes such nonsense should truly be ashamed of themselves. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. Because like I said, you sitting there thinking that, there's nothing to do with me, I'm not involved. But now you bring your children to that park. And now that park gets shot up. Simply because one man was just so embarrassed. We got to take a sincere look at ourselves. We got to truly look at the man and the woman in the mirror and realize that you're not separate and you are not safe from this happening to you. At any moment, you have no idea. You have no idea when your number will be called. When somebody senselessly has a driven anger and motive completely illogical to you of why they want to hurt you. What will you do in this situation? Now, separate from that, what I would like to say, separate from that, is in order to not feel like you ever need to be threatened by such a scenario, I quite frankly really do recommend you take karate class. I recommend you take Muay Thai classes. I recommend that you involve yourself in some martial arts, because from the time we take in martial arts, the simple reality was, at one point in my life, I was those guys. I was those guys banging, throwing fists, hurting people, and hurt people, and that's the reality. Hurt people. And you know what? The simple reality is, I don't wish this for anybody. Fighting is a very, very ugly thing. And so I don't tell you to take martial arts in order to hurt other people. I tell you to take martial arts to realize that you don't have to. To feel confident enough to realize that if something was to happen, not only can you handle yourself, but you will choose not to fight because you fully understand that you need no validation. You need no validation outside of yourself that you can make it home, that you can hold your own, that you can win a fight. When you know deep inside, at a core inner level, I promise you this: you will cease fire. You will cease fire. So work on yourself. This is my message today. I asked God, I said, God, what the hell do you want me to tell people? He wants me to tell people, work on yourself at a deeper internal level and start taking a very clear look at your excessive addiction. What are you addicted to? What do we do? What do I do in excess? What do I value so much that I can't live without it? In this instance, we're talking anger, rage, validation, lower level frequencies. Being ruthless. This was ruthless. This man was already down. This man was knocked out already on the ground. He was on the ground on all four hands and knees. There's no reason that somebody should kick that man 3 more times in his face. And like I said, 20 other odd guys and another 40 other odd people, family members, on the swing set, swinging. 2 girls swinging right next to their father. Everybody just watching. This is madness. This madness. Absolutely hideous, disgusting. And we as a people should truly be ashamed of ourselves for being bystanders and watching such a thing. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Stop sharing violent videos on Facebook. Stop sharing violent videos on Instagram. Stop sharing people getting shot up in a park, shot up in a church. You are the problem.